So, what's the real difference between a professional, rock-solid software system and, well, a ticking time bomb? Honestly, it all comes down to one core idea: building systems that are truly robust, not ones that just shatter the moment you touch them.
And come on, let's be real, we have all felt this pain. You've seen that system that's so brittle, so fragile, that one tiny little change can bring the entire thing crashing down. This isn't just bad luck, you know? It is a direct result of bad design.
So let's walk through a little disaster scenario that probably feels way too familiar. I like to call it the domino apocalypse.
It all starts with something so innocent. You're just asked to change a little visual element on the front end. Super simple, right? What could possibly go wrong? But then the alarms start going off. The API, which shouldn't have a clue about UI colors, is suddenly failing all over the place. And oh, it gets so much worse. The problem starts cascading down, and now your database is throwing errors. How is that even possible? And for the final soul-crushing blow, a completely unrelated part of the system, like user login, just stops working. The whole thing is on fire because of a button.
This is the question we have to ask. How does one change, something that should be totally isolated, cause this catastrophic, system-wide meltdown? The answer is in the architecture. And the answer is as simple as it is terrifying. In a fragile system like this, there are no real boundaries. Everything is tangled together in this giant knot. It's just pure chaos that just so happens to be working for now.
Okay, thankfully there is a much better way to build our systems. So let's talk about the upgrade, a disciplined, structured approach called layered architecture.
The big idea here is actually really simple, but incredibly powerful: separation. We are intentionally drawing lines in the sand, creating these strict boundaries in our system to prevent exactly the kind of chaos we just saw.
Now, the easiest way to picture this is to think about the floors in a building. Way up at the top, you've got your presentation layer. That's the UI, the API, anything that talks to the outside world. Right below that, you have the application layer, and that's where all your important business rules live. Under that is the data layer, which is the only thing that's allowed to talk to the database. And then at the very bottom, you've got your infrastructure layer for things like sending emails or processing payments.
Now, just having these floors is a great start. But the real magic, the real power, comes from one simple, non-negotiable rule. This is the one principle that makes this whole thing work.
And here it is, the crucial point. Communication only flows in one direction: down. The UI can talk to the application layer, but it can never, ever, under any circumstances, talk directly to the database. No shortcuts. No just this once. This discipline is absolutely everything.
And if you can stick to that one simple rule, let me tell you, the payoff is huge. Let's look at exactly why this strict separation is such a game changer. Because of this structure, those scary ripple effects are contained. Your UI team can go nuts with changes without any fear of breaking the core business logic. You can literally swap out your entire database, and the front end won't even notice. Want to add caching? Easy. You just slot it in cleanly between two existing layers. Need to scale? Well, you can just scale the one piece of your system that's under load. The whole thing just becomes predictable, testable, and so much easier to maintain. So how do you know if you're building a robust system or just another house of cards? Well, here's a quick little thought experiment, a litmus test for professional system design. Ask yourself this question and be honest. If your database technology completely changed overnight, would your user interface require even a single line of code to be changed?
If the answer is yes, if your UI would break, it means your layers are leaking, and I'm sorry, but you've built a fragile house of cards. But if the answer is no, then congratulations. That is the sign of a well-architected, resilient system. You are building like a pro.
And really, that's the ultimate takeaway here. Building strong systems isn't about adding complex frameworks or fancy tools. It's about the discipline of managing and controlling how all the different parts of your system depend on each other.
Layered architecture is a fantastic start. It really is. But what if we can make our systems even more flexible, like building with Lego blocks? Well, next time, we're going to explore exactly that with modular design. I'll see you then.